Nintendo's Summer 2026 Direct has officially happened, was announced yesterday at the time of recording this video and of the event, and we finally got it. About 50 minutes of new game reveals and trailers, and we did get a Treehouse Live about 95 minutes long, and so I'm going to be talking about it, giving you my thoughts on the event, and just going over everything that was announced, because there is a lot of things to talk about here, a lot of third-party support, some new game announcements, got some big updates and release dates for a lot of games that we needed, and so yeah, just kind of be giving you my thought on the event and going over everything that was shown. What a fun time to be a gamer. We just got every single company and every single big event all in 1 week period. What an absolute blessing and what an awesome opportunity just to do content over all these things. After this recap and review, I've done a reaction and recap and review for every single event that's happened this week. Been on the grind, doing it for y'all, but most importantly, I'm doing it because I love gaming. Let's get it. Welcome back to Player Way. Johnnymmer here, and today we're going to be recapping, we're going to be reviewing the Summer Nintendo Direct for 2026. Finally, they announced it for the Summer Games Fest week. We had the State of Play, we had the Summer Games Fest, we had Xbox Showcase. Now, Nintendo was the final one to do it. They ended the week, yeah, this is going to be an interesting event to talk about, because I'll just go ahead and say right now, I do think this was the weakest event out of all four. That being said, let's not be delusional. There are some really exciting things that were shown at this event, and we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to look over everything. I will be giving you my more in-depth review on things, but for the most part, it's been an awesome week just to recap and review and look at and react to all these different events. Gaming is in a really good spot right now outside of the business side of things, but in turn, if you're a consumer, if you're a gamer, like, dude, we're absolutely eating. We are absolutely eating everywhere. Like, everybody has something to look forward to. And I think that's what's so special about gaming, especially right now. But with that further said, if you guys love gaming, this is the place to be. Doesn't matter what you love. Doesn't matter what company you support, what genre you play, what platform you play on. We just love gaming. That's why we're here. We want to talk about that. We want to experience that with all of you. So if you love that, this place to be. Appreciate all support. If you could, like the video. Leave a comment section down below provided. What did you think of the Nintendo Direct? What was one of your favorite announcements? Let me know. Would love to talk about it. And please subscribe, share with your friends. All that support would mean so much, especially supporting this video right here. Without further ado, let's go. Nintendo Direct 2026. It happened. Our first general direct in a long time, since September of last year. And yeah, it was 50 minutes long. There is a lot of games to go over here. I'm going to let you know right now during our recap. I will be kind of going over a lot of these really, really fast, because a lot of it is like either ports or third-party support. But if it is something new, or if it is something like at least interesting, that there is something substantial there, then I will talk about it. But for the most part, we'll be skipping over quite a bit. Not skipping, but just flying past a lot of these announcements. But first, let me just give you my thoughts on the Nintendo Direct. Now, listen. We're going to have a more in-depth discussion about this whole week on Player Way this week. We might have to do multiple podcast episodes, because there's just so much to talk about. But overall, this is my least favorite event that has happened this week. I just think the amount of games was nowhere near as much as any of the other events, and I do think the presentation of this event was just really poorly put together as well. That being said, listen. I am actually going to defend this direct. Now, I'm on the lower side. Personally, I would say this is a 6 out of 10 event for me, right? And even then, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go out here and I'm going to defend the direct. And you're probably wondering, how are you defending the event if you say 6 out of 10? Well, unfortunately, majority of the people I've been seeing really did not like this event. I know kind of funny podcasts, which I know me and Austin watch a lot. Like, all of them were basically 5 and under. One of them gave it a 3.5. Like, absolutely insane. People are really hating on this direct, and unfortunately, I do kind of understand where they're coming from as well. I do understand the hate, and I do understand if you know, if you're not a fan of some of these franchises, then there was like very few new game announcements. I think that is something that a lot of people didn't like about it, which I'm also of that mind. Like, there was not a lot of new game announcements, especially when we're talking about first party Nintendo wise. But I also come from the other mind of, if you do just read through this list of games, especially if you are just a Switch 2 owner, like if all you play on is Switch 2, this was a great event, because you're looking at a lot of third-party support. You're looking at some big games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. You did get some release dates for some of Nintendo's first-party games coming out second half of the year. So overall, I do think this was a good direct in terms of content, but I do not think this was a good show. I do not think this was a good show presentation-wise. That being said, there are some heavy hitters we got to talk about. There are a couple games that I'm just like what the heck? Like Duskbloods, bro. What are we doing? Like, we'll talk about that later. But let's go ahead. Let's get started with this recap. Nintendo Direct 2026 started off with... Actually, this is pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. I saw a tweet earlier was like, yo, the State of Play opened with Wolverine. Summer Games Fest opened with Resident Evil Remake. Xbox opened up with Gears of War E-Day. Nintendo, they opened up with Rhythm Heaven. Yeah, it was definitely the most interesting opening Nintendo has ever done. I am so hyped for this game. I'm not gonna lie. I am a huge Rhythm Heaven fan. Like this has been a Nintendo. This is one of the only Nintendo games like I've actually been like really really excited for. They open with it, but even then, I'm just like, why are we opening with Rhythm Heaven? It's kind of crazy. But anyway, Rhythm Heaven was shown off. It does come out next month. I'm very excited to play it on July 2nd. I'm a big rhythm game guy. I just love that. And then I used to play these Rhythm Heaven games a lot on the DS. It was one of my favorite DS games. So Rhythm Heaven Groove is the new one coming out. And yeah, it looks cool. I think they spent a little too long showing this game. I mean, we get the point. You click the button when you click buttons when the music hits, when it's in queue, like in sync. We get it. But yeah, so very interesting way to open the show. Then we go ahead and we get a slew of third-party games, and like I said, a lot of these third-party games are pretty like substantial, pretty relevant to actually talk about. Onimusha: Way of the Sword is announced to be coming out same exact day as every other console, September 25th. That's huge. Dragon's Dogma 2 was here, and it actually got DLC announcement here as well. I think that's pretty cool. I personally won't be going back to play the DLC, but for Dragon Dogma 2 fans, yo, there you go. Dark Arisen is the DLC, just like the original. So really, really cool. Stellar Blade was also shown here. Then we get Orbitals. We get a release date for Orbitals being September 3rd. This is a very unique art style, kind of very anime-ish. This is a game that is basically trying to be like a Haze-like game where you have the two players. It's kind of split screen. You're both doing your own things. Very neat looking game. Personally, I just have never really been excited for this game. There's just something about it that just hasn't clicked with me. But it does look really neat and it does look pretty good. So if you are interested in that, then there you go. You now have your release date and you can play it September 3rd. Rayman Legends Retold is also coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so they had a little trailer for that. The Big Walk, a really weird game that just kind of has that weird like indie charm to it in a sense where it's just you don't even know what you're doing. You're just doing things and you're kind of enjoying it. It's kind of one of those games that got a release date for August 4th. Yeah, it was just really neat looking at the game, like seeing all the things they're doing, looking through binoculars, holding up signs, being weird, the like voice control in it where you can like talk and you can actually hear your friends, things like that. Very weird, very very cool, but I don't really know if it's for me or not, so we'll end up seeing. One Piece Grand Gourmet, this huge One Piece RPG where you're basically going to be a chef opening a restaurant for a bunch of different One Piece characters. Pretty cool, pretty neat. Then we have what might be my my announcement of the show, which, I mean, it could go of one of two directions. Either I'm a really, really, really big fan of this one thing, or there just wasn't as many new announcements that just excited me. And that being Pokemon Pokopia Expansion Pass plus a free update in August. I've been looking for more Pokopia DLC and content for a while now, and I'm really, really excited they're doing an expansion pass. There's going to be 3 parts to it, and I'm just excited that Nintendo's actually supporting a game like this post-launch. They are not necessarily known for having the best post-launch support when it comes to games, but Pokopia is one of those games where it's like, dude, it was such a massive success. This is a game that could easily have post-launch content. Let's do this. Let's support it. And here they are with an expansion pass. I love to hear it. I love to see it. I'm excited. We're going underwater, which is super duper cool. I think that's a really cool just idea. I'm really excited to see what the future ones are too now as well. So really looking forward to that. Happy we got it. Yeah, so I do believe the expansion pass is $35. So a little on the higher side, but I'm not too mad at it. We're going to be getting 3 huge big chunks of DLC out of it, so I'm all right with that. Then we got Fire Emblem Fortune Weaves, release date being September 17th. Yeah, I think this game actually looks pretty solid. I think if you are a Fire Emblem fan, I think you are going to be eating really, really well with this game. I think this game is going to hit on a level that Fire Emblem fans really, really want to. If you're not a Fire Emblem person or you've just never tried it but you want to, I think this is going to be a great one to jump into. Like I said, I think the story, I think the characters, I think the gameplay, everything they're showing, I think looks pretty solid. I actually would be interested in playing this game as well if it wasn't announced for right in the middle of gosh dang September, which September is truly becoming an issue in gaming. There is way too many games releasing in September. And yeah, because now, like, honestly, if this came out in August or late October or November, December, July, any other month other than September and early October, I would be trying it. This would be my first Fire Emblem game, but unfortunately, because of that release date, I am not. So, yeah, that's unfortunately how the cards have been dealt. Ninjala 2 was here with a spring 2027 release date. DK Bonanza Emerald Rush plus Super Mario 40th anniversary collab content is on the way. Jujutsu Kaisen Rumble Survivation. What the heck is that? Survivation. That's a weird word. Basically from the Vampire Survivor. Yeah, and Vampire Crawler. Vampire Survivors developers making a Jujutsu Kaisen game in the same kind of format. Lords of Fallen 2 is coming to Switch 2. Lies of P Completed Edition was announced. That was pretty neat. Devil May Cry 5 Devil Hunter Edition was announced. Maramusa Revenant Blades. Then we get to a really big segment. A really big segment that if you are a fan of this franchise, this might have been your favorite Nintendo Direct ever. And I do not blame you, because even I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise, but I really did love what I've played of the one game, and I've always been interested in playing all the other ones, and so I would consider myself a fan of this franchise. Xenoblade. Xenoblade had a huge chunk of this Direct. First, they announced all 3 Chronicles games are getting Nintendo Switch 2 editions with new content, physical releases, all of that. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I have been wanting to go back and play 1, 2, maybe even try and finish 3. We'll see. I know they're really, really long games, so I've also wanted to go back and play Xenoblade X. I just haven't really gotten to it. I have it, though. But then, after that, they announced a whole new game. Basically the 4th mainline game, maybe 5th if you include X, being Xenoblade Genesis. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and predict. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a prequel, because it looks to be more fantasy focused, looks to be more like medieval, kind of war focused. And Genesis, I mean, if you know anything about the word Genesis, like, you know, the book in the Bible, it's the very first Bible, talks about the creation. So, you know, I'm pretty sure this is a prequel. All that to just say, I think it's a prequel, but man, this looked great. This looked great. This was probably my favorite game of the show. While, like, Pocopia might be, like, you know, excited me more in a sense. That's just because I'm way more familiar with the game and with Pokemon. But in terms of, like, the game I am most excited about here, I actually do think it is Xenoblade Genesis. I am very, very much looking forward to it, because I just think it looks great. The music, the characters, the visuals. I love the visuals that they're going for. And yeah, I'm just really excited to go back and play another Xenoblade game after what I really, really enjoyed of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So now, we move on. Another pretty decent announcement here. Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. Yeah, I was a big fan of the Nintendo Switch Sports game when it released on Switch 1. I just thought it's a fun time. I always loved the whole Switch Sports, Wii Sports, all that stuff. And the fact that we're getting Switch Sports Resort now, awesome. Really, really cool. We're getting 12 new sports, which I think is really fun. A lot of those sports I'm really much looking forward to. Ping pong and boxing for sure. They're bringing back a lot of favorites like tennis, bowling, golf, all those. Yeah. Absolutely fun announcement here. Nothing out of this world, but if you, like I said, if you love Nintendo games, like I do, like, this is a game that I'd be so down to play. I'm happy it was announced. I'm not gonna blow my socks off or anything, but hey, we take those. The next one is RuneScape Dragon Wilds. Then we go to Hello Kitty Party Land, and then we get another trailer for Star Fox. Really didn't show anything new. It was just, hey, Star Fox is still coming, which good. All right, the next one. Oh. Just now realizing I may have to take back what I have said. You know what? I don't know. Final Fantasy Resonance. This game. Okay, you know what? Here you go. This was my biggest surprise of the show. That's the title I'll give it. This was my biggest surprise of the show. I love the 2D HD games from Square Enix, especially Octopath Traveler, Live Alive. I've been wanting to play that for a long, long time. I love their 2D HD art style. It's just a lot of them feel carbon copy. A lot of them feel like it's just another game to sell to the fans who love those things. But we're getting a full new Final Fantasy game utilizing 2D HD. It's not a remake. It's not a remaster. It's not a port. It is a whole new original Final Fantasy game using the 2D HD art style. And might I add, they are cooking with the 2D HD art style this time around. It looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. This was for sure the biggest surprise of the show for me, and the one that I have, might be one of my biggest takeaways. I just loved everything I saw. I think this game's going to slap. Very much looking forward to playing this game on October 22nd, bro. Let's go. It is not jumbled in with all these other things, and good, because this is a JRPG. This is going to take a little while, so the fact that, what a great date. What a great date. Thank you, Square Enix. Congrats. I'm giving you your props. Take the credit while I'm giving it to you. Great job. Then we go to a couple other announcements. Piku Niku 2 was announced. Dragon Quest Monsters is announced for December 3rd, our first December game. There you go. Then we reach a dud, unfortunately. The Dust Bloods. Supposed to be coming out this year. We've been waiting a while since September of last year to see this game. Well, it was here, and it basically just had some screenshots of things that we've pretty much already seen, and said, hey, no date, but closed network test this summer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're doing here. Why was this game even here? You showed almost absolutely nothing. You literally put out a tweet in the form of screenshots during a Nintendo Direct. Hey, we're having a network test this summer. Here's some screenshots that you've already seen. No, we're not even confirming it's 2026 anymore. Yeah, this might be the biggest dud of the show for me. It just seemed completely useless. Which, you know what? Whatever. But anyway, moving on. Splatoon Raiders Direct. What the heck? Splatoon Raiders Direct. Oh, yeah. They announced the Splatoon Raiders Direct happening June 30th, 2026. And we also just got to see more of the Splatoon Raiders game. So very, very cool if you're into Splatoon. Deltarune Chapters got a new trailer. Metaphor ReFantazio is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Minecraft is getting a Switch 2 version. Tales of Eternia Remastered October 16th. Then we reach the big part. The part where everybody's socks came off. The part where everybody lost their mind, which even me, this is where I lost my mind a little bit. Kingdom Hearts showed up in a big way. They came with Kingdom Hearts Collection 1 through 3, and each of those have multiple games in them as well. So we're getting a lot of Kingdom Hearts games remastered, not only for the Switch 2, which is what they announced here, but for Xbox and PlayStation as well. It's already confirmed, and on PC, all that stuff. Very, very cool. As somebody who's always wanted to get into the Kingdom Hearts game, I'm actually really thrilled for this. I want to go back and at least play the main 3, and then obviously Kingdom Hearts 4. Looking forward to seeing whenever that happens. Well, guess what? Out of absolutely freaking nowhere, Kingdom Hearts 4 was at this Nintendo Direct, and it got a whole new trailer. No release date, but it was confirmed to be coming to Switch 2 when it launches, simultaneously with every other platform, which I think is awesome. And it looked really good. It looked really good. I could tell while watching the trailer, especially while running it back, there is a lot of work still left to be done. I hate to say it. I think this is 2028, the earliest. A lot of enemies didn't have shadows on them, and there was just a lot that I noticed while doing the second watch through. I'm like, oh yeah, we still have a long ways to go. They didn't show any IPs or any other Disney franchises incorporated. They were just like, hey, here's some combat footage in the main city that we've already seen before. So it was kind of just a reminder, hey, this game exists and it's coming to Switch 2, which for people who have been waiting so long to watch Kingdom Hearts or to see Kingdom Hearts 4 again, it's awesome. And even me, I've been waiting so long to see it again. So this was a fun announcement. I get it. It wasn't necessarily the most substantial thing in the world, but dude, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 4, bro. Let's go. What an awesome way to close the show. But it didn't close the show. Instead, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake is coming out in 2026 and was finally revealed at this show. Unfortunately, we got pretty much nothing out of it. It was basically a logo tease and a graphic tease. We saw a singular shot of Link sleeping in his bed, Seeing the new art style, which I think actually looks really good. I'm all for it. It kind of reminds me of like Link's Awakening mixed with like your classic 3D Zeldas, so I'm all for that. But we didn't get like any gameplay or anything, which I know left a lot of people upset, especially since it's coming out this year. Like, why are we not seeing gameplay? So that did close the show. So, you know, overall, like I said, there is a lot here that feels just like filler or just feels like updates, and it just feels like advertisement, and I get that. And there are some things that I'm just like, man, Dust Bloods basically showed nothing. Ocarina of Time, man, we got almost nothing. Even though it's a hype announcement, we got almost nothing, and so that was kind of disappointing. But you know, there are things that I was very surprised about. Xenoblade having the little block that it had was really cool. Pokopia getting DLC, I'm really enjoyed. Rhythm Heaven Groove, I think looks really cool. Dragon's Dogma DLC, really cool. Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, fun little surprise there. Final Fantasy Resonance, a banger of an announcement. Splatoon Raiders Direct announced, and then Kingdom Hearts having the presence and impact that it had. Like, there is good stuff here. There is good stuff. And if you're going to go out here and say that this event was useless and pointless and just filler, like, if you're going to go out and say this event was literally an email, that is insane. That is insane. There is a lot of good things here. I just think as an actual show, and I think this is the problem, which everyone's judging it for, and I will say rightly so. I'm not gonna say anyone's wrong for giving it a 3.5 because as a show, it was really rough. The pacing was all over the place. The content in which some of these trailers showed was either minimal to nothing at all. A lot of these were just updates, so if you have a PlayStation or Xbox, a lot of these are just like, okay, cool, next. And so I do think as a show, you know, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but I think, again, what I look for is games. I look for games that I'm interested in, I'm excited about, that I think look good, and there are quite a few here that I am. Do I wish we got more actual Nintendo announcements here? Absolutely. Like, there's really very little new game announcements here, especially from the Nintendo side of things, which I think is really painful for a big Nintendo Direct like this. I think we absolutely needed more. That being said, I still had fun. I still am looking forward to a lot of these games. Let me know in the comments how you all feel. Would love to talk about what was your favorite announcement. Would love to just talk to you about all these things. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnnymmer out. Peace.